Hi everyone, so today's video is a much requested video that I've had recently, and it's to do with what I do with my brows. Now I have done a few videos about this in the past and I've kind of talked about it a lot because I am very passionate about brows. A good brow really defines the face for me, and I like to keep mine looking a certain way, and I'm very particular about brows, and I think that having a certain type of brow can just change your face completely and can age you and can make your face look completely different. So when it comes to brows, what I like with mine is, well, first of all, I'll give you a little bit of brow history. My brows are naturally dark. The actual kind of colour of the hair is black and they are naturally very thick. But I did go through a phase, as we all do when I was younger, where I would pluck them out really heavily, and they were very tadpole brow, and I will insert a picture now. Yeah, that's what my brows looked like. They were really overly tweezed and it was not nice, but that was how I liked them at the time. I didn't really know any better, and then I decided that I needed to grow them out, which is very difficult. And with growing your brows out, there isn't really much you can do apart from just let it grow out and use a lot of concealer on the area to kind of try and mask it a little bit. But it does look messy and it isn't nice, but you have to just let them grow out naturally because that's the only way you're going to get a good shape. I often went to have them professionally done. I'd have them waxed and shaped and that kind of thing, but I was never happy with what happened, so I decided to try and do it on my own, which is what I do now. I thread my own brows. I used to wax them, but I thread my own brows and I tweeze them and I maintain them alone. And when I say maintain, I am a firm believer in little and often, so I never let them get bad. As soon as I see a couple of stray hairs, I get the tweezers out and do them, and then maybe once every 2 weeks I'll kind of thread the entire area. So I'll thread kind of here, all the small hairs, the kind of fine hairs you get here, which is great when you're threading, and kind of any small tiny ones you get in the middle and over the top. You shouldn't really do the top part, but I get very little fine ones that you can kind of see in the sunlight, which bothers me, so I will kind of do the whole area. But I've done a full video about threading, so I'll link that in the down bar because it's really useful and it's very easy to do and I love it. But in terms of what I like my brows to look, I like them to be quite thick. I think it suits my face shape and it frames my eyes just the way that I like it, and I feel like it's a lot more youthful. Obviously, if you like thin brows, that's fine. If they work for you, that's fine. If you've got totally different brows naturally, then that's great as well. It's just my personal preference. And also when it comes to filling them in, which I do, and I believe that it really makes a difference, I don't like using pencils. I never ever use pencils. I just feel like pencils just don't work for me. They never look natural and the colour just never looks right. So I believe in powders, and it's important, even if you've got dark brows, so black brows, don't go for a really dark shadow. So don't go for a black eyeshadow just because you think, well, I've got dark eyebrows, I've got black eyebrows, it's going to match, because the oils on your skin and that kind of thing will make it look darker, and then you get that kind of dreaded scouse brow effect. So I like to use powders, and I've just got a couple of examples of what I like here. So this one is a little kit, and this is great if you're starting out. It's by Essence and it's the Eyebrow Stylist Kit, and it comes with 2 different shades, which is really great in case you don't know what shade you are or you want to mix and that kind of thing. And it also comes with stencils, which is great if you're starting out and you kind of don't know what shape you want to go for and that kind of thing. I never use those because I know what shape I like with mine. And it's also important to note that, you know, your brows are sisters, not twins. I know it is really difficult and you want them to be exactly the same, but no ones are the same. And with mine, I know that that one's a little bit higher up, that one's a little bit more droopy, and there's nothing you can do about that really. It's just something you have to kind of come to terms with. But I like shades like this dark brown one for my brows. They work really well, and I don't believe in really expensive colours for brows either. The only thing you want to make sure is that they're matte. This one is really cheap. It's the Natural Collection in Crushed Walnut. Really nice matte colour. And then obviously Benefit do great brow kits. They do the brown thing, which I like, but the thing with Benefit kits is there are always a couple of things in the kit that I don't like as much as others, so that can be a little bit of a problem. But this is the Princess kit and I love this matte brown shade right here. So I'm going to actually use that, and I'm going to show you what I do, even though you've probably seen me do this a million times, but people have requested it. So you need a small angled brush for this. It's the easiest. Make sure it's not one that's got too many bristles, because that can make it a little bit more difficult. Sorry if you can hear birds and stuff from outside. It's really nice outside, so I wanted to open the windows and kind of get a bit of air in. But I use a brow brush like this, just to kind of comb them upwards first, and that way you can kind of see where any of the gaps are. And I don't fill in every gap, I'm not too methodical about it, and I like them to still look quite natural. So I take a little bit onto the angled brush, and then I just start at the kind of centre of the brow, taking it outwards. You never want to start at the beginning of the brow, because then you always get kind of product overload and it doesn't look natural. So start at the centre, and then you can always build up. It really is a case of kind of applying a little bit and seeing how you like it, and then you can always apply more. Don't apply loads, because then it's very difficult to remove. And that is literally how I would leave it. I like to just do them very naturally, very gently, and just to kind of create a little bit of definition and just get that more kind of groomed, uniform look. Like that. That's all I do to my brows, literally. And it is very hard, if you like thicker brows and yours don't naturally grow like that, to kind of make them grow, and I know that it's very, very frustrating, but it is something that you have to just wait and do, and you will kind of really be glad that you did it in the end. I then like to just brush through my brows again with a brow brush, just to kind of get any product overload that might be kind of sat in my brows, and that's it. That is all I do with my brows. I then like to sometimes use a clear mascara on my brows, just to kind of keep them in place and keep them looking nice. But as you can see, my brows are very, very dark. They're not by any means kind of like small brows, but they're well defined, and that's how I like it. But I obviously don't like them to be too well defined, if that makes sense. But I hope this was helpful for you. It's not the most informative video, but so many of you were asking me to talk about it, so I did. And if you've got any other kind of questions when it comes to brows, then definitely let me know, and I will see you soon. Bye.